Welcome to another Boss Hub Visual podcast show. This is your favorite host and CEO, Shakita D Days. We are back with episode 3, where we are talking about business, the business playbook, and how ordinary people build extraordinary companies. Turning your ideas into businesses. And when turning your ideas into businesses, that comes from either an experience that you had in life or an experience of tragedy that you had in life, and you had to turn that pain into purpose. That's when people start turning ideas into businesses. When you're starting a business, you know you start from zero, but you know that you're going to invest something. So you have some money somewhere for you to invest in that idea or that business. So there's businesses where you can invest in on a big level or a low level. So if you're starting like a franchise, you know that takes millions of dollars. But if you can find a system that can work for you, that can make you money, and all you have to pay is a little investment to get started, those are where you want to start. If you're not the person that has millions of dollars to get started in a business, you can start a nonprofit, a LLC for a low cost, but you have to work your way up. You have to work. You have to fulfill the purpose that you want to fulfill in starting this business, starting this for profit or this nonprofit. How did you get your first customer? You got to market to get your first customer. You got to put yourself out there. You can't have a secret business and people don't know what your business is about. People don't know what you're doing in your business. You can't be a secret business owner. Being a secret business owner is not going to get you the results that you need. You're not going to be successful in that business. What did you learn about money after becoming that business owner? When you got that first customer, that was like the greatest feeling ever, to be able to get paid for a service that you're offering. And sometimes to get paid for that service that you're offering, you're going to have to offer some free services maybe first to get that first paying customer. And once you get that first paying customer will motivate you to get your next paying customer. And it's not going to be easy because you're going to deal with people that are not easy, that they're complicated. They don't really understand the business world. They don't really understand. So they don't understand why they're investing their money. What's the purpose of investing their money? They don't really understand what they're doing. They're doing business, but not really doing it with the understanding. So learning about money, I know one thing I learned is that when you're making this money, you have to also be investing in saving your money, because saving your money is going to make you more money. There's two things about money. And the two things about money is how we make our money and what we do with our money when we make it. When we make our money, we need to invest a percentage of our money and we need to pay our bills. We got to have an emergency fund, all these things, because things come up. In this economy now, we know it's been difficult to have an emergency fund because a lot of businesses or jobs are not paying. They're not giving raises. They're keeping you on the same level you started in or the same level they left you at before this market got bad. And you're not keeping up with the market to be able to pay those bills or to be able to save that money. But you have to come up with a strategy for yourself, because you're going to be the only one that's going to be able to save yourself in this market. And whatever sacrifices you got to make to do that, it have to be done. And that's where the business growth come in. We talk about marketing. Marketing is putting yourself out there on social media, going to networking events, joining different groups online, joining different groups offline. You know you have to work, network yourself, have your business cards, however you could, however you um market yourself. Just be ready for that person. If you have a link that they can scan, anything, get their business card, reach out to them later, tell them about your services. Whatever you need to do in this market to get yourself out there, you can't be a secret agent, you can't be a secret business owner if you want the business results. Now we want to talk about hiring. We don't want to get into hiring if you don't have the funds to pay that person. Because if you don't have the funds to pay that person that you to do the job that you say you want them to do, and for the price that you say you're going to pay them, that's going to make you look like a bad business owner. They're going to say, hey, I work for this company. They hired me. They didn't pay me. You don't want that. You don't want your brand to be sabotaged. You don't want your brand to have a bad face. You want to protect your reputation. We talked about this in the last podcast. Customer service is number one. Customer service is the number one thing that's important when you're running a business. It's important when you're running a business because if you don't have great customer service, you're not going to keep customers. You got to have great communication skills to let people know when you're not able to do something. You have to have great communication skills if you don't answer the phone. You can follow up with these people. We know it's impossible for you to answer every call, every email, but as long as you're keeping a system where you know I got to go back and check my email, check my messages, call these people I say I'm going to call, set these meetings up that I say I'm going to set up, those are things that have to be done. And that's great customer service when you're being respectful of another person's time in their valuable time of reaching out to you for your service. Great customer service is the key to keeping customers. Partnerships. Partnerships. You want a partnership with people. You want to find out what that partnership is about. See if that partnership is working for you. If that partnership does not work for you, you want to move on to the next partnership. You want to work with the people that are working with you and the people that are reciprocating what you do. Because if these people are not reciprocating and it's not benefiting your organization, then those partnerships are not a fit. So you have to find these partnerships that are a fit, that's going to benefit you, and you're going to be able to reciprocate. You're going to get what you want. They're going to get what they want, basically. And these are the people that you stay with, you connect with, because these are the people that are passionate about their purpose and doing what they say they do, grassroots, on the ground. Basically, funding your dream. We talk about four ways. One way is grants. We know grants are not guaranteed. So grants, they take grant writing skills. Maybe you might have to know somebody. Maybe you might have to tighten up your grant skills. If you write a grant, then you know you gotta. If you don't get the grant, you know what you gotta improve on. So you go back and you go back to the playbook to find out what you need to work on. What do I need to work on so I can better my odds in getting these grants? Because we know that one way is not guaranteed, and that's for nonprofits mostly. Investors. How do you get people to invest in your idea? You got to be passionate about your idea. It got to be clear. It got to be precise. They got to see that you're actually doing this business, how this business is working for people, how this business is working for you, the funds that it's going to bring in. How are they going to benefit from investing in your idea? Is this going to make them more capital? Is it going to give them the exposure that they need to make more capital? How are you going to attract these investors? Sponsorships. You got to be credible. Are you doing what you say you're going to do with these sponsorships? You can't just be asking for sponsorships and you're not doing what you say you're going to do with these sponsorships. So credibility is a big key to sponsorships. And your mission is a big key to sponsorships. And you got to stay the course to get these sponsorships. When you get these profits, you got to know where to invest these profits so that you can make other money outside of spending the money on overhead expenses, events, things that you have to do, bills, whatever you have to pay. But you got to have a percentage that's going back into your investment pool so that you could be growing your money while you're spending your money. What is a financial mistake that costs most business owners? Not investing their money, not having a plan, not managing their funds correctly, miscommingling their funds. You don't have a business account separate from your personal account. You're not putting your business funds in your personal account. You're not keeping track of the services that you provide and the money that you're getting from these services that you provide. You're not keeping track of those things. So when it's time for you to file taxes, it's time for you to do these things. You're all out of order. You don't have a plan. You don't have things in order financially. You haven't been tracking things. So you don't even know what's going on. Your business is all out of whack. That's one mistake. What advice would I give somebody starting a business? Make sure you're ready to start this business because being a business owner is not easy. It's another thing that's on your plate you got to be passionate about. You got to have a purpose for it because if you don't have that passion and that purpose, Motivation is not going to always keep you motivated. You got to be disciplined. You can't be disciplined. You don't have the knowledge. You're going to quit this business. This business is never going to be successful. And this business may cause you legal issues because you don't know what you're doing. So seek the help that you need from a person that has the experience of starting a business so that they can outline the things that you need to do. But when you start this business, know that you're passionate about starting this business, because you can start this business and this business can be over in a week because your mindset is just not there. You're just not there. You're just not on that level to boss up. So that's one advice I would give to somebody that's starting a business. Make sure you're ready to start that business. Make sure you are ready to start that business. Now, we couldn't have Lakeisha Simmons on tonight. She's going to have to reschedule her show. We have more shows lined up, so we'll see when we'll get her back in. But thank you. Thank you guys for joining me on the Boss Up Visual Podcast Show. If today's conversation inspired you, share this episode with someone who needs encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow Boss Up Visual for more inspiring conversations. Next week, we'll discuss viral and valuable, building a brand that lasts. We'll explore how to create a brand with purpose, build trust, and turn followers into a loyal community. Until next time, remember, your vision matters, your purpose matters, your legacy starts with the choices you make today. Keep believing, keep building, and keep bossing up. I'm Shakita Days, and I'll see you next week. Stay bossed up.